What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Quadcast, the show where we get real, get raw, and get loud about mental health, substance use, and the fight to take our lives back.
Each episode, we're cutting through the stigma, dropping knowledge, sharing stories, and bringing the heat with guests who have lived it and aren't afraid to talk about it.
So turn it up, lock in, and let's break barriers, spark change, and build a community that refuses to stay silent. You're tuned into the Quadcast, and let's get into it.
You can find us on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, or email us. The Quadcast is always looking for new guests, whether you're individuals that have experienced it, you're in law enforcement, treatment programs, nurses, doctors, or anyone that just has something to say. Come share your story with us on mental health or substance abuse.
Warning, there's cussing in this video. If you don't like swear words, well, you're
watching the wrong damn show.
What did you guys have your hands in down in North Carolina whenever that happened? I know you talked about that, or you mentioned that. I can't remember when, but
Yeah, we did. So during all the flooding and all the devastation there, North Carolina, we went down and helped to build tiny homes, muck up, mud and cleaning and tearing up floors and things like that. One of our girls down there, Donnie Stagg, she went down there and she was down there for months. And then us girls, came and would spend however many weeks we could there doing things. And then, of course, I also brought my personal canine down there. She was down there for a couple weeks. I had trained Donnie to be her handler, and she located as well while we were there. So we provided those services, and then also helping to distribute foods. We set up the tiny houses, and like with all their toiletries and trash can needs, bedding, and all that. Yeah, we had our hands in a little bit of everything down there. It was a very emotional, just to see that small, even the small area, and knowing that it was like 10 times greater than the areas that we were down there touching and helping was it was crazy. These people are still recovering,
Sure.
still trying to recover. Yeah.
Bad situation, which could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
On that aspect, the state of West Virginia is so far behind on their emergency management that we could never handle that here.
No, yeah, absolutely. I don't see us. I mean, look at how did we handle Duratio 10 years ago? How did we handle, what I mean? Like, it's sheer panic, even when we get really bad ice and snow and stuff. And, it's a state of emergency and you're not allowed out. The emergency systems and stuff can't even get appropriate people their medications into the hospitals, into
the flood in 2016, 17?
It was, I think it was like maybe 15, if it's the same one we're talking about, because it was right before I moved here, and I moved here in 15. So
big one in White's over everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, you see there that, yeah, they need so much more with emergency management systems. See, we donated to it's a first responders organization up in Summersville. We cut them a check too, and for assistance for things like that for their first responders that go to tragic events and suffer trauma and PTSD and things like that. And then, of course, we're also anywhere that we're needed. Like, for instance, if we were to have a tragedy here in West Virginia, of course, Willing for Hope is going to be set up, not only offering resources, but doing exactly what we did in North Carolina. We're going to be shoveling out people's homes and tearing down and rebuilding, tiny homes and sanitizing things. We're there for anything. We're there for anything that someone needs us for.
Sure.
So
speaking of that, I'm not going to say it on live because I don't really need the FBI at my house, but do you still have my stuff?
yes.
Okay. We brought that up, but I'm not going to go into that right now. That's just a thought.
Now the questions and comments are going to start coming.
Yeah. Everybody be wondering what's going on.
Yep.
It is legal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was when I got it.
Yeah. It's fun. It's
Uh,
fun.
it's fun. Good
And
job
you
showing
know,
people.
we're talking about dogs and handlers and the dog world and canines and stuff. And that's something else that is so underutilized, I think, is what a dog can bring to a person to improve their mental health. I mean, you know firsthand for even, assistance for a trained
Shut
dog.
up, Mom.
What'd she say?
I know, I know.
I know, I know. Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
It's that's why I take the dogs through my canine facility. I take the dogs into the nursing homes, or I'll take the dogs to the events, to be able to draw the kids over to talk to them and stuff. But that's another thing that I do. A lot of times I'll get donated from different canine kennels. A dog that's like a washout, and
Hmm.
then I'll take the dog and I'll train it up. Um,
I have a washout for you.
no, not Piglet. Don't you?
Come on.
That is not. No,
I got
sir.
I got 2 pointers.
Ooh, you have to find the right person for a pointer. Not my fave. Not my fave. That's
That's
okay.
right. That's
I
right.
know. I know they seem to be your fave. I'm not gonna say no. I have to meet the dog, but we'll train the
Oh,
dog
sweet.
up and
I'll,
make it
I'll
either.
send them right to you.
You said no. Don't. I said I'd have to look at the dog. I didn't say I'd take the dog.
I'll send you pictures.
Okay, yeah. Send me pictures. I need video too. I want to see if the dog just like spins and is a crackhead that's hanging off the lights or
No,
what.
they like to cuddle.
Do they? Good.
Mhm.
Because I can train for compression therapy, PTSD, emotional
Oh,
support, and then I donate these dogs to people that are needed. Do you really think? Are you not? You're not just trying to shove off one of your crazies on me.
oh,
You
I
really
can't.
have one that would be great for that?
Bad thing is, if I got rid of them, I would have somebody else barking up my tree, and I'm not ready. I don't need that ass chewing. So
Okay.
I think I'll
Okay.
keep mine.
Okay.
Uh, but
Sounds good. Sounds good. But yeah, we take a lot of dogs like that and kind of retrain them and then donate them.
so you're talking about your business. You want to? God bless it, Michelle.
As soon as some
Hold on, she has a phone call.
There, we're back. Sorry. Come on,
Uh,
people. If you're friendly enough to call me, you should be watching my live and know I'm on live right now.
exactly, exactly. It's
Good grief.
it's such bullshit.
I
You're talking
thank
about
you.
you're talking about your business. You want to explain your business?
Sure. So I have Canine Country Club, and it is the only luxury boarding, daycare, and training facility with spa here in West Virginia. And so what we do mainly is boarding. When you go on vacation or you go somewhere and you need a safe place for your pet. But I'm also an AKC accredited trainer, evaluator, and certifier. I have canine nutrition, canine aromatherapy, massage, and my canine cognitive learning and emotion. So, and then we have a spa where we do, paw cures and blueberry dog facials, and we groom and all that.
This
Um,
bougie ass shit.
it is a bougie ass one. It is. We have so inside, of course, we have hardwood floors. The dogs have chandeliers. They have big screen TVs that play dog centric television by day. And then then we at nighttime when it's night, everybody has their own. Stop. You would like it. You would want to stay there and I wouldn't take you. So it has the chandeliers, the TVs, and then of course at night we play the calming dog anti-anxiety music, and they all have night lights and they get their nightly aromatherapy. They're in a 5x5 suite that has a doggy door. They're never caged. They're never, hemmed up or anything. The doggy door goes to each dog's private 5x10 turf and covered potty area, and then actually have a commercial dog park in the backyard where they get turnouts 2 to 3 times a day.
Mom says she wants to book her stay.
I do not take people. You can't pay me enough to take people, but I'll take all your little bullies, all your little Frenchies. Boston's. Your mama
Boston.
has Boston's. Yeah, Boston's. I'll
Boston.
take all your little Boston's.
They would probably have an anxiety attack being away from mom.
Probably. But they would, I don't know. We get a lot of first time boarders and we got a lot of people that have dogs that, oh, if I leave, they just go crazy and da 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 da. And listen, It's right here on my property. So I just go down there and I crawl onto the dog's cot or bed with it and take a napper. And by morning, we're best friends and they're happy to be there. I haven't lost a dog yet in 2 years. Every one of them have been like, okay, she's cool. We can do this. So we take a
Those
lot of
dogs do
anxious
better judgment.
steps. The dogs have excellent judgment. And you know that. You know, dogs know before humans do. And that's why they all love me.
You've got them all fooled.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they love me. Is the point.
So throughout your time with Wheeling for Hope, are there any stories that come to mind that are appropriate to tell that you've experienced?
So are we talking about persons that I have interacted or that we have helped or went through things with?
Sure.
Okay. There's so many. And it's crazy because like whenever I take the Jeep and it's Willing for Hope out, mental health suicide prevention is purple and teal. So the Jeep's teal with purple accents and of course 988, mental health, Willing for Hope's all over it. I promise you, every single time I drive that Jeep, whether it's to go to the store or the gas station or drop something off, someone hollers and says, "Nice Jeep," every single time. And I always holler back and say, "Thank you. It's for mental health and suicide prevention. It's our Willing for Hope 988 Jeep." And they come over and they talk to me and go, "Wow, I lost so and so." Or, "Wow, I have a son that we're really worried about," every single time. And one time in particular, we were up at an event up at Snowshoe. And this son came in, these two kids came in. And at the time, I didn't know they were there with their parents, but they were teenagers. And so if I give my spiel to anybody and everybody, anybody that will listen to me, I'm going to talk to them about 988 and,
Even people
let
that
them.
won't listen to her.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're going to listen now. Yeah, I mean, whether you want to or not, you're going to hold up and yeah. So I'll even do that at event tables. People will walk by and I'll go, "Hey, how are you?" And they'll go, "Hey, how are you?" And I'll be like, "Now that you spoke to me, you have to listen to what I have to say." And I'll come around the top of the tent and I'll give
Have
it
no
to them.
choice. No choice
No, no,
whatsoever.
no. You made eye contact. It's your fault, right? So
Hey, you should really work on getting consent first.
no, no, no. I don't need consent. Freedom of speech. Come on, Mac, get with the program.
Last time I checked, I don't think we have that anymore.
You're right there. You do have to be very careful anymore. But anyway, these two teenage boys came in, and of course they're looking at the shirts and stuff, and hoodies and stuff, and I grab them. I'm like, "This is what we do. How this is what we have. This is what." And the one teenage boy who's probably 15, 16, it was the way he was looking at me when I was talking. He was, you could tell it was either for himself or for someone else. He was so interested. And the teenage boys that come by and I give them my spiel, they go, "Yeah, okay, yeah," and they walk on most of the time, right? But at
Fine.
least I've told them about 988 and now they know if they need something. This kid just stared at me like, and gave me these soulful eyes. And so I asked him, I said, and it's as simple as this, because you could just feel it. I said, "Are you okay?" And this 15, 16-year-old boy that's taller than me starts crying. And I'm talking to him and I'm going over, the problems he's having with the girlfriends in school and just, trying to fit in different places and where he needs to be. So I give him all of my information. I give him the card. We sit down. We have a heartfelt. We have a cry. About an hour and a half later, a couple comes in with a small girl, parents of a small girl. And I'm talking to her and telling her about all this. She starts talking to me about her son, that he had attempted already in high school suicide. And so the mother and I are crying now and, holding each other and we're talking
Sure.
about it. And I'm doing everything I can do to point her in the right direction and also just be a listening ear. A lot of times that's all they need is to be able to, tell their story. And the other two boys walk in and it was her son. It was her son. And she's like, yo, here's my son now. Yeah.
Um,
And it was him. And I was like, oh, here we go. Now we're, full circle. And I have kept in touch with that family. So many people that I've kept in touch with, just whether it be through Messenger once a month, how's things going, or, so many families. But that was crazy to me, that that 16-year-old boy was walking around. The parents didn't know what to do for him, didn't know, the school counselors weren't helping him in any way. They didn't want to push him. They didn't know where to go. And then I had that conversation with that kid, and whether it be through talking about Jeeps or four wheelers or side by sides or hunting or fishing, we had that connection enough for him to cry and let loose on me. And it was just a huge breakthrough, not only for him to finally talk to somebody about it, but for the family to see that that flush over that child of, okay, now I'm ready. Now I have talked to somebody about it. Now I know what to do and how to handle it. That was very, very special moment for me. One of the
sure.
most, yeah.
They're I would imagine that they're all special encounters like that in some way or another. Um,
Every single one. Every single one. Yeah.
every connection that I've made through the podcast, they're all different. They all
Mhm,
hit differently. Um,
mhm.
I had one a while back that absolutely floored me. Um, it was rough, um, and just from the mental health side of it, and suicide, um, and it was within West Virginia Department of Corrections.
Yeah.
Um, it's crazy.
It is, and it's crazy when that a lot of people, I mean, obviously, if you're just talking to somebody or somebody that you don't really know that you've just met, you're not going to open with, oh, I just lost my uncle recently, or I've been having
Yeah.
suicidal thoughts, or I'm struggling. So to give people a place like a podcast, or that is geared towards that type of conversation, or to give people events that you're free and you're open to discuss things like that. Sometimes just being able to talk about the lost loved one or the struggle of a loved one or themselves gives them that little bit of, you can almost see like a relief wash over their face. I've found a lot, I don't know if you have or not, by talking with different people, that have lost people to suicide, that they want to tell their story to keep their name alive. But it's also sometimes there's not an appropriate place, time, or like an awkwardness there on how
Sure.
to start that story. So podcasts like yours and events and groups like mine give them that safe space, and that's helping them mentally to cope with what they're going through or what they've lived through.
I,
So
I imagine it's because it's the conversation that's geared directly towards that, and it's not something that it just comes up in conversation.
yeah,
That's
you
what
know what you're going to be
the
talking about when
therapist
you
is
go
like.
on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're going to be talking about mental health when you go on your podcast. You're going to be talking about mental health, whenever you run into us and the Willing for Hope girls. That's what it's about. And a lot of people will seek your podcast out, and just like they will sometimes seek out Willing for Hope and go, the last time I was here, I didn't get to talk to you, but,
Right.
and then they release. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy. What do you like from your outside looking in, or however you want to look at it? But how, what do you see that we could be doing different as a state, from a state level, for mental health, suicide, substance abuse, all of it?
There are so many things that we could be better at and do. And of course, I had talked a little bit about the education system and our children, and how high, at least in West Virginia, the suicide rates are for small kids. So I think that, there needs to be more implemented. I understand that it's important to have gym. I understand that it's important to have history and to have math. But I don't understand is, how come it's not just as important to make mandated, make a requirement to have a coping life skills mental health, a coping life skills class that children have to go through. How come we can't make that mandatory? Just like I think, off topic, but just like I think that they should have friggin' do your own taxes and checkbook writing 101.
I
Like our
agree
children have,
100%.
we've lost all these basic skills. All these kids have lost basic skills. But I just think that they could put that in there. And I know they say, oh, well, it's touched on in health. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. When you take your health class and stuff, it's all about nutrition and body parts and ovulating. And you know what I mean?
Put-
Like it's
Putting a
the
condom on a fucking banana.
exactly. So it's the health of your body. It's not your mental health. And I think that, mental health needs to be implemented there. I also feel like through the state of West Virginia that we need to do something. It's crazy to me. In the state of West Virginia, there is very, very little assistance for children for under 18. Very little. There is zero assistance for under the age of 12. Yet the second leading cause of death encompasses 10-year-olds. Blows my freaking mind. So I did write and pull together a bill that would try to change that and get rid of the age implementation. So there's no inpatient facilities whatsoever for under 12 in West Virginia. And there is pretty much zero assistance for children under 12. But yet we're seeing 10 and even under, in our leading cause of death. So I would like to see an age restriction lifted for availability through insurances and through free organizations and inpatient facilities and stuff that accept with no age limit. I think that's extremely important. I think for not only people in our state, but for people in other state, we can actually assist by this was a beautiful idea and example from one of my very best friends, Emily Daff. And we already have 988 boards there at the New River Gorge Bridge. So, unfortunately, the New River Gorge Bridge is a very active jumpers bridge. People drive from all over the world just to
Has
jump
been
off the New River
has
Gorge
been
Bridge.
for years.
Yeah, tallest, longest bridge. They know that it's a positive. They're not gonna make it.
Last year there was, remember the girl that went missing? Thought she got kidnapped or whatever, and they found her right at basically the mouth of the Ohio River. Or yeah,
And see, I don't know. Here's what intrigues me too. I have tried many, many channels to get a statistic and a number for suicides off the bridge. And I know that we don't advertise it. I know we don't put it out there on the news because it creates a frenzy. So someone could be having a mental health issue, and if they see that there was 3 jumpers off the bridge this week, we don't want to put it in their mind. Well, that's what I'll do. I'll just go to the bridge and jump off. I
right.
get it. But at the same time, it needs to stay steady and it needs to stay aware that we are fighting these battles, and particularly in this Appalachian region of West Virginia off of this bridge. When I say people drive and arrive from different states, I mean, from all over everywhere, anywhere, every state in the United States, they'll come here and they'll jump off the bridge. So the idea was, of course, they put the 988 signs finally right before you get on the northbound and southbound. You don't really pay attention to them or recognize them. They're
Sure.
very minimal. They're
I didn't
not,
know that. I didn't know that they were there.
you don't unless you look for them. We need more of that. We need more signage on the bridge, 988 or talk or pause for a cause, take a
I
second.
almost made a very inappropriate comment,
We're
and I
live.
stopped myself.
Thank you. Thank you. Your mother's listening.
I wasn't worried about that. I was just worried. I was worried about the backlash that was going to come with it.
Stop. Do you want people to listen to your podcast or
I
not?
forgot we were live.
Well, we're live.
It's something that I would have edited out.
Well, you can't edit live, so.
No.
So I think there needs to be more signage. There needs to be more awareness, particularly around areas like the bridge where people tend to jump off. I'd be very interested in getting sound statistics, even like the AFSP and different places like that. You cannot get a clear number. We can only guesstimate between 3 and 9% in West Virginia. Of deaths in West
Right.
Virginia are attributed it off the New River Gorge Bridge. I would love to see a more stout statistic that we can use to get more things done.
Can you not
But
pull that from the PD?
no, I I've tried everywhere.
Really?
Nobody can get me exact statistics of deaths off of that bridge annually. So if you can find it, you let me know because I will use it as fuel for the fire to get even more work done. They've tried to lobby to get netting on that bridge. And do
Uh,
you know why our legislatures have said no? Because it will ruin the aesthetics of the bridge for tourism, for income for West Virginia. How disgusting is
as
that?
we just painted those two ugly ass bridges in Kanawha County.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But the New River Bridge, we forget saving a life or lives. We don't want to ruin the looks of the bridge for our tourists that come through. Honey, the tourists are coming through and jumping off the damn bridge too.
As West Virginia has been the leading state in for multiple years of the state with the worst bridge infrastructure there is.
Oh my gosh. And you talk about, well, I don't know if you know or not, but the engineer,
Remember, we're live.
okay, okay, okay. At any rate, the guy that designed the bridge and built the bridge,
Mhm.
every year right before Bridge Day, he sends a letter to our governor pleading him not to have Bridge Day because it was not built for that. And every year they say, nah, we're going to do Bridge Day anyway, money, money, money. And now that he's passed away, his daughter does the same thing every year.
Really,
Yeah, the bridge is not built for that, and they're going to have a horrible disaster.
not built
Um,
for the weight of everything
it
on it.
it's not built for, I guess, the difference in traffic versus
Right.
300,000 people. Yeah, standing and walking on the bridge. That it will not withhold one of these days. It will
Well,
be.
that'll
Yeah, what do you got
that'll
to do?
make me second guess going over that anymore.
Also, to know that the bridge hasn't passed inspection for years.
That's not surprising.
But they do it anyway because money, money, right? Yeah. But one
God
of
bless.
yeah, no, it's crazy. But getting back to let me circle back around to what I was saying. We were talking about people going off the
Yeah,
bridge. 988 posters and billboards and things like that need to be more prevalent. But a friend of mine, Emily Daff, and I actually went ahead and wrote a bill and submitted it to a few of our legislatures to try to get passed. We need to have a phone booth on either end of the bridge that you simply it says talk to me or pause or take a moment or 988 that you pick it up and you have 988 immediately on the end of that line. And that's something that I think would, even if it saves one life, obviously, is well worth it. And there's
What
power on either end of the bridge.
what legislators did you submit that to?
Elliot Pritt and I discussed it a little bit. He said that it has to go through the Department of Highways, and because the Department of Highways, I guess, would be taxed with the maintenance and stuff on it because it would be on their roadway, and that they have shot different things like that down more than once, and it's very difficult to get them on board for mental health.
Nothing that makes sense is good enough. Um, that's dumb.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did you hear my episode? You may not have with Brian Hilton, Senator Brian Hilton.
no,
I did one with him on his Medicaid funded treatment programs, substance, Suboxone, whatever.
right.
So I did an episode with him. He's a really good guy. Um, so he's willing to hear people out. So might be he's from Fayette County, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
but maybe a good contact to reach out to
Yeah.
for that
I've met
one.
Brian a few times.
Me
Elliot's
too.
phenomenal and he's always been on board with us and helped everything. He was just trying to tell me, listen, similar things have been presented and we can't get
Yeah,
any groundwork with the DOH. So maybe Brian would have another outlet or, more reach or something like that or have some other suggestions. So I
the
have
more
met
people you
Brian
bounce it
before.
off,
Huh?
the more people you bounce it off of, the greater your chances. I mean,
100%.
especially getting them motivated to being on board with it.
100%. Yeah.
Because the more you have on board, the better the vote process goes.
Yeah.
Maybe worth a shot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody that, like you said, the more people that knows, somebody's going to know somebody down the line that knows somebody that's going to make something work for you.
I mean, that's simple in my mind. To
Yeah.
push through. I don't. It's like I said, it's the things that make sense are the hardest things to get pushed through.
You got that right.
On the veteran side of things, like, are you guys working with the VA or like in, over in the Beckley area or anything?
So, so they attend our events and stuff. And if we ever have veterans come through that need specific resources, we offer the VA Center over there as a resource to them and their counselor and their people over there. If it's not something that we can help with or assist with, we offer resources and direct them. And the VA is absolutely one of those places that we will give them information and names and numbers and stuff and direct them to for assistance if they're a veteran.
The VA seem to be open to helping accordingly.
Absolutely, 100%. I've even talked to a few of the counselors over there at the Beckley VA hospital, and there's one that just does female counselors, and then there's also, one that has, of course, the group sessions and stuff like that, and they are all about it. Of course, anytime that just like the bridge thing, you want to do more, or you end up with your hands tied. You end up
Or
with the red tape, and you end up with having to bust through the doors and the bullshit to get something that makes a whole lot of sense to happen. But no, they work very hard and they try very hard. I know the counselors in the VA and the people that I have worked with. Yeah, they're great people and they're a wonderful resource.
that's good because I mean, hearing horror stories from the VA is not uncommon.
Absolutely not, and it depends on who you talk to,
It does.
because I know medically, they do not have a beautiful track record medically at all. Band-Aid out the door. But you know how that goes. Well, another phone call. Can I hear you?
Yeah,
Let me get back out
I can
back
hear
in, but
you.
how about now?
Are you there?
Yep, I'm here now.
About time.
Sorry, I'm popular. Listen, so it's just like anything. You can pick up the phone and call about a power outage, and somebody
Sure.
say, "Oh, we know about it. We're working on it." Hang up the phone and get somebody else, and they'll go, "Oh, yeah, it's on so and so road, and they've got about 30 minutes." It depends on who you get at the VA,
Sure.
honestly. Medically, yeah, I think that they're horrible to their people, and there's been so many, as well as my brother-in-law himself personally, that died over at the VA for lack of medical care. I'm yeah, firsthand experience there with that. But you do have some good ones over there that really want to do the right thing.
I think the biggest thing is advocacy.
Hmm. I
Being
agree.
able, being willing to advocate for yourself. Uh, I did an episode there the other day. I guess it would be episode 3
Hmm.
um, of season 2. It was with a state trooper veteran. He had nothing but good things to say about the VA. But I
Yeah,
got, I've got 2 other friends that have had nothing but trouble out of the VA.
yeah.
So it's all about being able to advocate for yourself and how far you're willing to push it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all in who you, if you get somebody, if you get an elderly veteran over there that cannot ask the questions or verbalize exactly what their needs and wants are, then yeah, they're not going to get the same care that if they have an advocate with them and they have a family member or something that's a very strong advocate for their health, then they're going to get treated a little bit differently. And I think it, like you said, it's just kind of in who you get to, unfortunately. There's so much care medically, mentally, and so forth that could be improved in the state of West Virginia. And I don't know where you start with that. You start with trying to bring awareness to it, trying to reach the one person that says, "Hey, I've got somebody I know you can do XYZ," to try
Right.
to, string it along. And then you need the people to do it. I run a business, I have a family, I run Willing for Hope, and we get called to all these. I want to be in 500 places at once because
Sure.
I'm needed. I want to be up there right now while legislation is in session, walking the halls and running my mouth and stopping people like, you need to listen to this. We need these phones, and different things like that. But you can only do so much as one person, and that's what gets so frustrating about things like this that we do is you feel like you're spinning.
Sure.
Um, and you need more people to help. You need more people to volunteer. You need more people to share the podcast. You need more people to listen. You need more people, because when you start to gain, then you start reaching more people, and then
Right.
they reach more people, and that's when you start making a difference.
Mom's Mom said, "Let's go."
Let's go
Talking about going to the Capitol,
out. Yeah, we could
but
probably start. I just got over the flu A, and I'm still healing from surgery. But
she's not
I
allowed to
mean,
do anything running her mouth yet.
I can run my mouth on the phone. It's just be hard for me to do it in person. Like, you're lucky I took a shower today. That took a lot out of me.
I tried to warn you.
You did, and that's why I showered.
But no, I mean, back to the whole, you need more people like that, like across the board. That's just it. Like nobody wants to be that person anymore. Nobody wants to be in the spotlight. Nobody wants to push. Nobody wants to advocate. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
spread awareness. And we see it every day on social media. Nobody wants to invite that friends list to that small page
Mm-hmm.
around mental health or substance abuse, but we'll talk about the fucking Democrats all day long,
Yeah.
or ICE or whatever.
And squabble and not even know what they're talking about.
Well, trust me,
Not even know what they're talking about.
I've been in those comment threads too,
Yeah,
but
me too.
since they took the mugshot page away and my mother banned me from there, I have not been in those.
Okay. Got your
She
hand
did.
slapped.
She
Okay.
did. She told me I had to quit.
Yeah. Well, with being in the spotlight and with, broadcasting a podcast and putting your opinion out there, what you run the risk of what? Being criticized, being torn
I
down,
know.
being bulleted, like, yeah, blah blah, and more
Listen,
people trying to
Tracy,
tear you down.
they
But
did that anyways, but
yeah,
it was like arguing with brick walls most of the
absolutely.
time. So is arguing with people about the ice stuff. Uh, People are going to think what they're going to think, but
Yep.
nonetheless, I run my mouth
Yeah.
over dumb shit.
Yeah, I've had a few little threads there that I've been involved in that, yeah.
I love. I mean, you can threaten me all day long. I'll call your bluff.
But you also have people too that they're not open to hear, listen, or see. It's, oh, this and da, 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 da. Well, I'm going to show you this point of view from this body cam that da 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 da, and they will still. Now, if somebody showed me something that totally contradicted what I was, advocating for, I would be like, oh, okay, well, I saw it completely different. I apologize. Let me fact check myself, let me look. But yeah, so many people don't. They just got this one track mind and it can't be changed no matter what.
They'll drive it home. They won't vary off of that track, and
Mm-mm.
it's everybody's left or right now, but you got to fall in the middle somewhere. Like, I mean,
Absolutely.
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'll probably still argue with you just to piss you off at that point, because
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, I know I'm wrong, but I'm probably just going to keep driving it home because I'm pissed off that I'm wrong, but I know I'm wrong.
If I'm wrong and somebody shows me facts to prove otherwise, I might try to argue my side if it's opinionated side. But if it's just factual evidence and it's straight way one or the other, I'm gonna say, you know what, you're probably right on this one. I didn't look at it that way.
I'm
But
mature enough to own it.
you're what?
I say I'm mature enough to own it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to. Somebody tells me something that, convince me. Isn't that what all these talks and stuff are about? I'm going to say what I
Should
think, and you
be.
say what you think, and I might learn something, and you might learn something. I hate
Yeah.
that they all
And
end in I'm going to block you and screw you and you're a Nazi pig and all this stuff. Because I'm a Trump supporter. Now, do I like everything that Trump has done or everything that Trump has ever said? Hell no. But
no.
I am a Trump. I'm a Trump. I like Trump. I like how he's running the government. I don't like how he does everything, but I am in agreement with more that I like that I don't like.
Uh, that's, people don't know how to agree to disagree anymore.
Exactly.
Uh, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Quadcast.
Remember, breaking stigma doesn't stop when the episode ends. We're building a movement, and you're a part of it. Stay strong, stay aware, and stay connected.
And this is the Quadcast signing out.